It is 13 hours in Guyana and right across the Eastern Caribbean. It is time for us to begin today's edition of Wake Up Guyana. It is Tuesday, the second day of September in the year 2020. Good afternoon to you, wherever you're joining us from. And it is time, like I've mentioned before, for Wake Up Guyana with senior journalist Leonard Gildarie. Leonard, a pleasant good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon to you guys down in the studio there, Joshua, and of course Raj. How you guys doing today? Is everything going good? My boys have disappeared there, so I want to say a good day to you right across Guyana. It's September the 2nd, and there are many things to talk about today. We are going to tell you a little about COVID. We're going to tell you a little about Parliament. We're going to tell you a little about what's happening on the Kaieteur News front page today. And we're going to say welcome to this special edition because it's special. It's second day, and this entire month is going to be special when it comes to the Wake Up Guyana show. Guess who's celebrating something? It is the Amerindians. And I wish that I could have been somewhere where we're going to taste some of their food. They have some very good dishes out there, and they have some very good art and craft. And if there's some way that you could do something to support them, they have some tomato ketchup. They have some of the best hammocks that I've ever seen right across this land and the other places that I would have went. They even have peanut butter. Would you imagine that? Honey, a lot of stuff. But when it comes to some good dishes, they have one of the best. I forget what's the name of it. It looks like a pepper pot, but a white pepper pot. I think tumo it is. You guys would tell me if you know, but it is something they have something there, a very rich history and culture. So I want to say welcome to this Wake Up Guyana show, and you should wake up. I am waking up. It has been 3 days now since I would have received the news, and I want to share with you because I'm operating from home, self isolation here, and it is because I've tested positive for COVID-19, and I am towing the line when it comes to what the regulation says. And what the regulation says is going to be pertinent to some news that we have for you based on what the Minister of Health, Dr. Frank Anthony, would have said a little earlier in the day with regards to two parliamentarians who tested positive and what would have come out after that. So we are going to bring you that. So it is a Wake Up Guyana show here. I want to say welcome to everybody who would have been joining us today here on Kaieteur Radio 99.1, 99.5. You could also get us on Kaieteur Radio on Facebook or Kaieteur Radio live stream on YouTube. So we want you to join in. We want you to be interactive with us today because as every day we have so many people, and there is going to be a lady who's going to be surprised today. Today we are not going to say anything about that. That's because she's really touched our heart with a story, and despite all everything that she's going through, she would still have a smile on her face, in her voice, and these are the kind of things that we want to say. There may be days when we're going to be done. This pandemic has really affected our good people of this country. The smiles on the face went away for a little because of this whole pandemic, this whole political situation, and it has not been good for people. However, once there's life, I always am very positive. I want to pass some of those positive attitude on to you that we should never ever give up. There's going to be times that when everything would seem down to you. There's so many things in my life that I could share with you. So many hardships that I would have went through, from suicide to deportation to many other things. Even some politicians who decide they're going to make use of it to try to get after us. When Dr. Yoga, Mahadi, and myself, we were every day coming to you over on Kaieteur Radio, coming to you on the daytime elections watch show, and in the room 592. We came under so many attacks in our character and on other things that didn't bother us, because if you're allowed to get it to, you're going to stop functioning, you're going to stop working, and I'm not going to allow that to happen. So the whole point is today I want to say to you that you should not ever give up. Just every day you get up, you might feel a little down, but get up and get the things done. If you have to sweep the yard, sweep the yard. It's a routine that makes us go in. It keeps the wheel turning. But we should also tell you, if you're doing the same thing over and over again, again and you're not getting the right results, do not continue to do the same thing. Do something differently. You're not going to get a different results, and that is something very positive. It's something that is in our own mindset when it comes to our attitude in life, the way that we would approach life generally. So I want to say to you, thank you for joining us here on Kaieteur Radio on this Wake Up Day show, because we want you to wake up today. We want you to pay attention very closely as to what we're going to say today, because there are going to be many persons calling in, and we are going to open those lines in a very short while, and we are going to be reading you some of those news because we want to tell you what is happening here, and we want to also hear from you what is happening in your area. I had a call from my reporter yesterday after the show in Esquivel, and he said, "Man, what is it that you did to me here? You give my number out, and everybody's calling me." So we have a lot of people in the Esquivel area who's been joining us day in, day out. And I want to say good day to you, whether you're in the Kapui area, whether you're in the Anna Regina area, whether you're in the Charity area, whether you're in a minibus in the Supernami area, or you're in a taxi, whether you're a taxi driver, whether you're a speedboat operator. I want to say good day to you guys. Keep your head up. There is light at the end of the tunnel. We have to get this pandemic. This pandemic is a little something that should not be wanting to overcome us. Rather, we are in charge. Today, we are in charge. And so let us get our act together, like I say every single day. Let us pull ourselves together. Let us be very strong about this entire thing. And let us continue to do what we've been doing. Plant a little garden, play a little with the kids, make sure that they are protected. If you're seated in the minibus, wear your mask. If you're going to go into the store, wear your mask. Wash your hands. Make sure that you protect yourself. This thing is not an easy thing. I've been suffering some headaches. It's difficult. I'm not sure whether it's all up in the mind, but I'm not going to allow it to get with me. I'm going to get up every single day, and I'm going to do what I have to do. I'm going to eat my fruits, eat my vegetables, drink my vitamin C. If you have that, you should ensure that you do that. To get some orange, do what you have to do. But it is not easy, but we have to. We can't stop living. And so we are going to stop here because I want to bring you the news as it is today. You guys have been very good to me, very good to the radio, very good to the rest of the people of Guyana, because your words is what encourage me, encourage us at the radio station, encourage the newspaper to continue to do what it has to do. That is not being a political mouthpiece, but being the voice of the people. That's what it is. We have no constituency. We don't have a dog or a horse or a cat in the race. We don't have anybody that we are backing. We're not backing anybody. We want to see the rule of law that function. We want to see that everybody benefit from the resources of this country. We want to see the rule of law that everybody is being dealt even-handedly by the government, by the judiciary, by the police, and everybody. We want to see the police do their work. Yesterday, we would have heard situation there. I pass it on. We have somebody looking into the matter there. It is very sad that you should be hearing that police officers, men and women, being told to take up duties at particular places, and there's not even a toilet. Imagine you sending a woman out in the bushes to do her business down there. How much more do we should we tell ourselves that we need to get our act together? This is something that is not good for our country, and we should be asking for better. Better must come. I think politicians once said that, and I will echo that. Better must come for our country because we deserve so much more. This is our land. This is where we born. We know what it is. We know what we would have went through the 80s. All the folks will tell you. If you're younger and you don't know what the 80s and the 70s would have brought, it was hardship, but we would have learned discipline from that. And if you were able to live through those times, and you lived through the 90s where Guyana was making a turn all for the better, and you lived through the 2000s, and so you know that we are a resilient people. And so if that being the case, we should be asking for the rule of law, because we have so much oil here, we have so much resources here, that our rule of law should ensure that our leaders, our regulators, and everybody do the job. When you've taken that oath and you enter the office, you're there to serve the people. And this is not a knock on any government or anything. It is just for us to remind ourselves our place in this country, our duty as a stakeholder, our duty to tell the people that's in charge, hey, wait a minute, I'm in charge here. I'm your employer. I'm the one who put or who casted that vote for you, and so you must ensure that you deliver the services that you promise. You made some promises in the manifesto. We intend to talk about that in a little while because this month is Amerindian month, and you would know that the president of Guyana, Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali, would have made some statements with regards to what he has promised for the Amerindians, and he has made it very, very clear that he understands. And based on that statement, I'm going to try to get some excerpts for you to read it out. Based on the statements that we have there, it is very clear that the government seems to be in tune with the facts that they have promised, they've made promises in the manifesto. We would have received calls yesterday from our people across this land who some people agree, some people disagree, saying that, how the president could have gone into Tiger Bay. When the president did went up to Berbice yesterday and he did share out some hampers, he met with the people, he promised to talk about the show industry and some of the measures, the COVID-19 measures that he has mapped out for the people. And let me tell you this, when it comes to the COVID-19 measures, he has said it very clearly that before the end of the week that we are going to make some very concrete announcements for the COVID-19 families who've been affected, and everybody has been affected. So it's not only help for the families, it's also help for the businesses. So we are going to wait on some of the announcements that is going to come from the government before the week is over. I am coming to you remotely on the Wake Up Guyana show, and so I want you to wake up yourself today, and I want you to get things done, get things done. You might not have a job, you might have lost your job. It doesn't mean that you can't clean the place. It doesn't mean that maybe you can't take the opportunity to maybe prepare a little garden here or there. Let us do something that is different from yesterday because if you remain stagnant, if you remain looking out for others to help us, it is not going to help. So let us be very, very clear as to what is it that we want in this beautiful country of ours, what is it that we'd like to see our government do, and how we want them to deliver it. How is it that we want to see the opposition to operate? How is it that we want to see the rule of law, our judges, our policemen? We have to talk about that. That those are conversations that we want to see for this beautiful countries of ours. So good day to you guys down in Barbies. How are you guys doing there? From the down to Crabwood Creek, and I did see a story. Somebody is doing counterfeit 5,000. Say counterfeit Grangers. I'm not sure if they're going to call it Grangers, those $5,000 bills anymore. But somebody's doing counterfeit money. You guys got to get a job. You got to do the correct thing. When you do that, you're going to be caught, and caught you are because somebody's going to notice that it is. And they're going to remember the person who tendered that fake bill, and they're going to report to the police, and the police is going to pick you up, and you're going to be caught sometime or the other because you did pass it. Let's do the right thing. Let's don't do the illegal things. It is not helpful towards this country. It's not helpful to what our country or people see. I see another car accident this morning. I see a hit and run. Somebody hit somebody across the river there, and and the vehicle escaped. I hope that they catch the culprit. I'm not sure what you're doing on the road so late in the evening. I'm not sure what the other individual would have been doing. What I can tell you is that when you flee from the scene and you're caught, you should be jailed because there should be no bail for you because you didn't flee from the scene. You're flight risk. The minute that you flee from the scene, you're flight risk. So let's get down into the thick of things today. This is what the September the 2nd newspaper of the Kaieteur News would be saying. Your biggest newspaper, the largest selling daily, and it's been bringing us some hard-hitting news. Glenn Lal is not an easy man when it comes to ensuring that he gets the news out to the people, saying, I don't want to be like nobody else, and he pushes his staff to do that. So good day to you, Mr. Glenn Lal, and family, and to the rest of the Kaieteur News crew there. We are apart, but we're together still because I know that you have us on meetings 7 times per day, and that's what you do. We enjoy it. We like the challenge, but you're a hard taskmaster, so we appreciate that too. Makes us into better people. So good day to you, Mr. Lal, and I hope that you're having a wonderful day. So let's see what the Kaieteur News. It's Wednesday edition, September the 2nd. Alex Ponzi scheme was slapped with 12 more charges. Interesting story. So this is about the third time they would have appeared in court. This is no other than Yuri Garcia Dominguez and his wife Atika Ishmael. They appeared in court yesterday again on the east coast of Demerara, slapped with 12 more charges. I think they have in excess of 41 charges now, and they remain out on or in remand because they have been viewed as flight risk. As you could recall, it was only in June that Mr. Dominguez was handed citizenship for Guyana, and this is after he would have applied and he would have married a Guyanese woman. In any case, the two of them are in jail and they're being accused of making false pretense or obtaining money by false pretense, which is, I'm saying to you that I could deliver certain things and I don't deliver it, and you paid over and I can't deliver those things. And so they're being charged. And that's the basis of it. That's what it says in essence. We understand more charges to come in. And let's see where this goes. But it's an interesting case. I'm really, really sorry for the folks who would have invested, because they didn't invest thinking into something that was above board. What we also could tell you is that they were not authorized. I see even some religious leaders are still selling other things like the foreign exchange schemes, foreign exchange trading, and there's been some warnings about that too. We're gonna have to ask the authorities sometime or the other, like if you want to sign up for those foreign exchange trading and you want to actually trade on the world market for foreign currency, how does it work? Are you likely to make money? Those are interesting questions. So if you're going to get yourself invest $400,000 into something that you don't know about with the hopes of making money, does not make sense. So you got to make sure. Some people are going to tell you that you are going to be trained, but listen to the experts and listen to what the experts, people who know what they're saying, what they're warning. And this is not to knock anybody, but this is just me, Leonard Gildarie, doing my job based on the research that what I would have done. Whenever I don't know anything, I go onto the internet, Google. Sometimes you learn. You call up a friend who's involved in a business. What happened here? Like my bridge collapsed a couple of days back. There was a big hole in it, and I got mad. I got mad with my contractor. Why didn't he put the what you call it, the steel underneath? When I look at a couple of steel that he had there, he says that the board rotten out underneath, and I got a little upset with him because I look at it there, that should not have happened. But the point is, I picked up the phone and called a couple of my friends. And I said, "How do we fix this?" So they explained to me what kind of steel we need to put underneath, and I had to fix it because the car was left stuck in the yard. There was a big hole on the bridge. The car would have probably stuck into the drain or something that's there. So we need to educate ourselves when it comes to things that we don't know about. And there's so many ways that we could do it. Call on somebody, check Google, go on the internet. There's so many resources that is out there that could give us a little more that we could think about. So good day to all our good folks in Guyana. Thank you for joining us on the Wake Up Guyana show. And we coming to you here from Demerara. And so we go back to the headlines of the Kaieteur News rather, of September the 2nd. And it's exciting Guyana prospects needed to rescue Exxon's shareholder, analysts, and the oil company, but oil company still refused to give Guyana a fair deal. I want to stop here and come back to the story here. There's a big company in the US that everybody listens to. It's like the Christopher Rams across here, and the analysts that would open their mouth and talk about certain things, that we have to stand up and listen to them. The company name is Goldman, and I think Goldman Sachs. Goldman and Sachs, I think it is. In any case, they warned. They said, they were warned about Exxon and its future outlook, and they say that Exxon is something. If you have money in it, it's not such a good idea right now. The stocks have been falling over the last couple of years, and so this story here is about a story that came out, I think, is out of the Forbes, and it talked about Exxon outlook and how the shares have been falling. But here's the interesting thing that you should know. They talked about Guyana and what Guyana meant to the future of Exxon. And let me repeat that, what Guyana meant to the future of Exxon. Guyana is the cash cow for Exxon. And so right about now, you would recall that Exxon is fighting with Guyana. They have some issues. Guyana says it doesn't want to give them a permit for the third phase of construction or production that they want to enter into. It's called Kaieteur. And Exxon is saying that Guyana should give them that permit as early as possible. They've already given out contracts. They've already borrowed money. That's because they bank it heavily on Guyana. And people warning about the Exxon and what Guyana means. So there's a thinking that we should be able to, let's pay attention to what Exxon is doing to us, and maybe there's a lot of opportunity here for us to strike a better deal. The story is telling us, and the company, while they know that the situation is happening, is still refusing, to even sit at the table. In the meantime, we are agitating for a better deal, and the people are worried, and so the authorities, we're going to continue to follow the story. The oil in Guyana, that's not going to go away. This story here is going to be dominating the news for the next couple of months or years ahead, because it is big. We could really, really make some money out of it, and everybody could live like, have a level of life that's good. We could have nice highways. We could have 2 or 3 harbor bridge across the Demerara River. We could have old people, sorry, citizens and people being able to benefit from maybe $100,000 in a pension per month. These are real things that we could benefit from. We could be able to walk into or we could be able to bring into this country a SUV and not pay taxes, because there's no need to bring the taxes. The money is going to come from oil. So let us get our act together in terms of when the authorities, that is, and understand that we are in a very good position. We are in a good negotiating position right now because Exxon is on the back foot. That's what the story is. And so you need to read it. Exciting Guyana prospects needed to rescue Exxon shareholders, analysts, the headline in Kaieteur News today. Opposition MPs, well, yesterday Parliament started, and this is what I need to tell you. Opposition MPs walk out of the National Assembly over Schuman's appointment as Deputy Speaker. And so uh, Mr. Schuman, Leonard Schuman of the Liberty and Justice Party, he was given a nod over former Speaker Raphael Trotman. And there was right away Kaieteur, who was a former minister within the coalition, call it an abomination. She would have come under criticism because there were others who said, why you criticizing? You could remember in 2011, I think thereabouts, that there was two. I think it was Debbie Back and I think Raphael Trotman or somebody who was back to back as having the speaker position right there and then. And so, why are you complaining now? There was also the argument is that if it is that you're arguing that the convention is that the deputy speaker is going to go to the opposition, well, it did go to an opposition, and the opposition is Schuman. He's one of the opposition. So this is an interesting. So they would have walked out after taking their oath in office. At the end of the day, these are people who are already parliamentarians, so they don't care. They're probably going to get their concessions, duty-free concessions, and otherwise, whether they turn up or not, they're going to get a salary. So this is something that I really need to look at. I have a personal issue. People walking out of Parliament. I think there's a couple of things that you could do without walking out of Parliament. Why are you walking out of Parliament? I mean, you could not say anything. You could remain mute and you could be seated there because you need to conduct the people's business or represent 217,000 persons according to the recount would have voted for the coalition. That is no ordinary amount. You need to represent those people. So as 12 Parliament convenes, $11.2 billion in budget approved for the constitutional agencies. And this is very good news because these bodies have to work. And the fact that they would have gotten these budget approved in one day, it is showing that our politicians, our lawmakers are thinking in the right directions. Let us don't waste time. We're wasting too much of time. Ministry warns against the use of rapid tests for diagnosing COVID-19. Interesting story here. I would have been receiving, and let me tell you guys, we have to go through these headlines because there's a lot of news here. It is telling us what it is that is happening with regards to this COVID-19. So the ministry came out with a statement yesterday, and the ministry would have said very, very clearly, the rapid test is not such a good idea. The one that really tells you whether you have COVID or not, it is the one that you insert the stuff through your nose, your nostrils, and so that is the one that you should be paying attention to. If you don't doing the rapid test, it's not so very dependable. That's the story there. So I would have received some complaints, and I I think the ministry, the government says, has indicated that they have to, that people would have gone to some private hospitals, and they would have indicated that they did blood tests here. I did ask this question here to the Minister of Health, Dr. Frank Anthony, a couple of nights back in room 592. And he was very careful, very diplomatic in his words, but he's basically saying, everybody's offering tests and the rapid tests and the blood tests and so on. But he is aware that the COVID-19, the PCR test that they call it, that you insert through your nose, that is the one that it should be depended on. So let's be very careful. We got to listen to what the authorities are saying and not just do any and everything. Maybe there's something, and you need to read up on it. The story is there. I'm probably going to read it to you in a little while. But let's educate ourselves. If you have to do a test, do not do a rapid test and say that you don't have COVID. You need to take precautions. Continue to wear your mask, but you need to do the correct thing. That's what the authorities are saying. I am going to listen to them. Harman tells press he submitted evidence of relinquished dual citizenship. Clerk of the National Assembly says no. Interesting story because it would have been the new leader of the opposition, Joseph Harman, yesterday, who had a U.S. citizenship also with Guyana, and who would have been one of the ministers resigning because of that, because of a court order that was handed down by, I think, by the Caribbean Court of Justice sometime back. You remember that when all that court cases was happening, he would have been one of the ministers resigning, and now he's the leader of the opposition. The Parliament would have asked them, all members who has dual citizenship, do not come here and or at least provide proof that you have relinquished it. And he said, yes, he told me that I presented to the Parliament, I've given them evidence that I have a letter or a document of revocation. Parliament is saying, well, wait a minute, I didn't, the clerk of the National Assembly says, I didn't see anything. So there's going to be some interesting developments that if they don't have that, where does that go? The only body that it was disclosed that would have offered a document stating that they have a letter of revocation or a certificate would have been Gail Shearer, who's the Minister of Governance within the PVPC government. So this is an interesting story that we will continue to follow also. Guyana to account for 30% of Hess' current output by 2022. Interesting story here. Hess is one of the partners in the Starbuck block out there. And Hess is going to, by 2022, 30% of this big company, this big oil company production, which is part of the Starbuck block, is going to be coming from Guyana. So let us be very aware of what our strengths are. When this company come and tell us how they're dependent on Guyana, then we should tell them also we need a better deal. We are aware of what you're getting. What are we getting? So let us get this thing right. Health Ministry seeking loan from Indian Bank to revamp sections of the Demerara Hospital, Westdam Hospital. And so this is another story that has been working quite a few. We should not be in a situation where we asking for loans when we have so much of money out there, and it is something we should be paying attention to. There's so much you guys for joining us today. It has been a very good day so far. I'm feeling a little better. There's some little remnants of a little headache. It's difficult sleeping in the night. I'm not sure whether I'm a little worried what it is, what I'm self-isolating, taking what I have to do. I'm drinking the ginger and the lemongrass and whatever else is mixed up into it. Kind of like it, kind of like it. And so that is where we are at the moment. So you boys in the studio, how are you guys doing there? I want to say good day to Raj. Raj has been very, he's been a couple minutes before. He says, are you guys, you ready to start the show here? You want to make sure that I get myself in order. So good day to you, Raj. And the number that you should be getting on to us is 6222222. 6222222. So we should also, you send your text to that. Do not call that number there. What you should be doing is calling 2267453. That is the number that we want to hear from you. And we have like about an hour and a half, hour, 25 minutes. And we want to take as much calls as possible. We want to have as much text coming in as possible so we could be able to read them to you and we could be able to take this to another level. But it is your day. It is time to wake up Guyana. We want to hear you wake up Guyana with some of the things that you have to say today. So let's get right down into it. Rats, who do we have there today? Do we have anybody calling us today? Yes, good afternoon, caller. You're there.
Hi, good afternoon, Mr. Gildarie. I'm very
How are
sorry
you
to hear
doing?
about your status, COVID-19 status, and I wish you all the best. And I hope you
Thank you
get
very
well
much, my
very soon.
brother.
My concern is that I talked to you last week concerning NIS. Unfortunately,
Yes.
I don't have the lady today on your program.
I was trying to do it this morning, but time ran out. But I'm gonna get her. I'm gonna try maybe tomorrow or the other
I,
day.
I
I'm
wish
gonna
if
try
I
to
wish
get
if
her back.
I wish if you could put me onto your report that covered the story for the gentleman that take them to court and he won this case. It was
Or you were
Kaieteur.
interested in taking them to court too?
Well, obviously, I don't want to pay $1 million and then I have no benefits. If we can
Yeah,
settle this
yeah, yeah.
thing, if we can settle this thing on a different level, I will appreciate it. But I remember reading Kaieteur news a couple of years
Well,
ago, and
it's
the young man that take them to court,
yes.
and he won the case.
Yeah, it's a young man. The guy is about 60 something. It's about 60 something. The guy was, I think he was a minibus driver or
Well, you
something,
gotta be
and
careful when you're calling people old
self-employed.
men these days,
But
right?
that young man there, that matter. It's an interesting case, and I think it should only do better to raise the level of awareness in terms of some of the rights that he has, because he's not a rich guy. The guy's a man. I'm just tired of this nonsense every day that I got to be running to and from. And the people did advise. It was an interesting case in that he did not have enough contribution to NIS, and they said for you to reach those contributions, you could pay something. And when he did pay that, they didn't want to give him his money. I think that was the case that I remembered. And so he took them to court, and it was big back and forth, and he won because it says the minute that you accept it, they accept the man money. It was with the presumption that he would have gotten his money, his benefits. So it's an interesting case. I'm going to try to find out who did the story and who was the lawyer, and maybe I can link you up with that.
Okay, should I message you on Facebook or call you back on a special number?
Yeah. Message me on Facebook. I'm going to try to get that details to you.
Okay, thank you very much. Have a blessed day, and all the best to you.
God bless you.
Okay.
Thank you very much, dear. So I want to say thank you very much to all the other persons who would be joining us today from overseas, wherever you're from, whether it's from Canada. And I'm seeing a good set of people here too who've been with us day in, day out. Gina Singh, Bibi Shabira Hussein, how you guys doing? Ann Barkley, Ram Sohoy Tivari, you guys have been with us day in, day out and talking. Karen Josiah, Josh Singh, Gail Bacchus, Sheikh Abraham, Sukrani Kisur, and well, of course, I did talk about and Nalini Singh. Good day to all you guys. Thank you very much for joining us. And day in, day out, you made a contribution to make Guyana into a little better place. Farida, Rafik, Sugdio. And so thank you very much there. And so maybe we could probably go to in a couple of I'm waiting to see where the text. You guys are not sending us any text. We need to see some text coming in. 62222. Let us get those texts flowing so we could be able to read it out what the people are saying. So in the meantime, let's get back to some of those callers that we have there. A good day down to Linden on the highway. We have a lot of listeners there along the Suzdijk Linden highway there as far as Haruni, Swan. How you guys doing there? A good day to you. Do we have a call online there, gentlemen? Yes, caller, good day. You on the air?
Good day, sir. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. Go right ahead, man.
Sorry to hear about your headaches last night. I hope it gets better soon and you feel better.
Yeah, I work, I'm still working from home. I'm trying to take it like what it is, huh?
I know, I know, I understand. I have two contributions. One is I am really upset and shocked at the AFC's behavior. The reason I'm saying that, I remember when they nominated Deborah Barker and Trotman and knocked out the PVP as opposition. How could you stand up?
That was in 2011, right?
Yeah,
2011.
how could you stand up today and say that they broke the convention. Who broke the convention first? That's one. Two, Schuman is opposition. He is
Well, that's the
opposition.
whole point.
I don't get the point with that. And the next thing is, I know this is happening all over, but I ain't living all over, living in Guyana. The issue is this. We got to start, the government has to start looking at how this country can operate in COVID, implement things that we can work because people are staying home too long. And while $25,000 sound nice, people have been home for 6 months, and how this they go in is not another 6 months. So that doesn't make any sense. As much as it's grateful to get it, the point is we have to start private sector, government, and everybody has to sit down at the table and see how this country can run through COVID-19 time, meaning whatever precautions we got to do, whatever it have to be implemented, but it cannot stay shut down indefinitely because at the end of the day, most people in Guyana work day to day, and they're already home a couple of months. I listen to your comments up here, and I hope you get better soon. Thank you.
Thank you, my brother there. Well, let me tell you, I to come back to that 2011 thing. Somebody did send it to me, and I had totally forgotten that it was that the deputy speaker in the speaker's position, the deputy speaker, speaker's position had gone to Debbie Back and I think Rafael Trotman as well. I remember that very, very clearly. And so it was interesting that, that it come back. But somebody did point out, and I think quite cleverly, that look, this position that you have here right now, it did go to an opposition. Might not have gone to the big opposition, but it did go to an opposition. So we got to be very careful. I think the opposition was just upset that it did not go to them, and if it's something coveted position within the National Assembly that you would want to see there, it's interesting that it didn't go there, but it's also interesting that it did go to a opposition. So there's very little arguments that you could probably be raising there. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. But to come back to this $25,000 thing that was raised also, where do you start? How much money do you really start helping people with? Where do you get it? It's an interesting situation, and I did put some thinking into that too. What could you really help the people with to start them getting back on the jobs? You can't. I think the public servants, they fortunately they did not see the pay cut, but there's a whole bunch of other people, from taxi drivers, minibus drivers, people who would have lost a job in the construction industry, in the commercial sector, like sales girls and boys, and the office staff and so on. Many people would have been home, maybe on half pay. I know some relatives of mine who took a 10% cut in a overseas company that is based here. Um, I even know some media houses which have been doing rotational kind of duties because they don't have enough jobs. Rather than send home everybody, they decided to take a pay cut and kept everybody on things. So those were some of the ideas. But to come back, what are some of the things that we could do? What could government do other than $25,000? Could we look at a better option than that? It is a conversation that needs to be had. We need to bring everybody on board. I think one of the good things that I saw that we actually talking to the banks, the commercial banks and MBS and so people's how you say it, their mortgages and the loans, and so you could give them a little timeline in which to pay, but sometime or the other that time is going to run out. How do we jumpstart the economy? I think what we have to do, I think some of the business have to be reopened. Let's say for the restaurants, for example, somebody was pointing out, we're not saying for the restaurants not to be open, but do not allow anybody to be inside the building there that's going to be eaten. Pick up your food and leave. And if you're going to come in, there can't be more than three people in the building or 6 feet apart or whoever it is. But we have to make sure that people are protected. The business could be open, but there must be conditions that is attached. And we could look at several measures like that. But the $25,000, no kind of money, I can tell you that, but it is a start. The flip side to that, how much money is going to be good enough and where you're going to find it from. Somebody is going to say, well, let's take an advance of our oil money out there. I'm not so sure that that works there, but it's an idea. I saw that. So let us see how that plays out. But to come back, there's this big case here. This morning, the Minister of Health, Dr. Frank Anthony, would have been come out or issued a statement with regards to to criticisms that two member of parliament walked into parliament yesterday, knowing that they had COVID-19, and the two parliamentarians are one, Christopher Jones and Shara Dongle. And they, I think Christopher Jones, I did see a statement from Christopher Jones. He was a former sports director, and he is now the opposition chief whip. And so he would have said that, the 10 days after I tested positive, the 10 days in which the government says that I should have been out of it has elapsed, and therefore I didn't see any symptoms and I could come out. But the minister is saying that it is against the law. He came out with a statement this morning with a video statement, and he's saying against the public health law to knowingly spread an infection, the COVID-19. He says parliamentarians were written to, or parties were written to, and tell them if you have COVID, do not turn up in parliament. Excuse me. Excuse me. If you have the COVID-19, do not turn up in parliament, and therefore you could do it virtually and being sworn in. And there was a couple of parliamentarians who were sworn in virtually yesterday. Chris Jones is saying that he did not have it. The timeline would have elapsed. And so they're saying that you're breaching the orders. The minister is saying that you're breaching orders and that you should be there for 13 days. If you came out before 13 days, you would be breaching those orders. So this is a story that we have to pay attention to. But at the end of the day, I think this is wholly irresponsible. If you have it and you've been tested positive, whether it's 13 days, 14 days, if those time would have elapsed that you so many days that if you had it 20 days back and the 13 days passed, then you can come out. Or if you're on the borderline of something, I think there's no need for you to be in the National Assembly. You could stay away. So it's an interesting story there, and story have more than one side. And let us see where that goes. But the Minister of Health is saying that they found that very, very unacceptable today as to what happened there. So let's go to some messages before we go back to those phone lines. I want to hear from our people today, and I want to go back to that as early as possible. I have some messages coming in here. Just bear with me. Let me pull it up here to our people. I agree with the caller. We cannot shut down for years. The average pandemic lasts for 2 years. We need to make a balance in working and handling the virus. Good morning. Concerning the $25,000 per household, is every house getting $25,000? And they do where people can go collect it, or what procedures you got to go through. I don't have a rate to listen to, so you can please give me a feedback right here. Thank you very much. We don't have any details as to how this money is going to be shared out. They are coming up with those mechanisms at the moment, and I think before the week is out, the president has told Barbicians that we are going to make some announcements this week here before the week is out, so we could be able to keep you in tune. They're working out all those modalities, all the measures, the different measures in which people could benefit. Good afternoon, Professor Leonard, and the host of the People of Guyana. The People of Guyana would like to say thanks for the government to convene our 12th Parliament. The people of Guyana are extremely happy for the members of both sides to take notice of what's happening when the raid came and the Guyana was saturated with water. Thanks to the great job that was completed by the Chinese for over a year, and thanks for the hard working staff of the for the hard work, and they have those who did nothing and received the best of the privilege. In some cases, receive a better incentive than the short management salary that needs to be investigated. I think there's so many things that I want to say here. Good afternoon, Mr. Gildarie. I hope you're feeling better now. I hear that the market vendors and supermarkets are using COVID-19 to charge consumers more for the goods and products. Can the city council do something about this? Everybody is having a hard time. This is happening in Barbies, and this is coming all the way from Ken from the Netherlands. Let me raise this issue here. I think almost everything people are going to complain. The housewives are going to tell you. I could tell you, not as a housewife, but I would have received complaints about the goods how people pay more for chicken. Basic things like chicken gone up, meat gone up, basic things, potato, everything gone up. And I think some vendors and everybody else, they've been pushing the envelope. Some shopkeepers, some suppliers, and so really taking advantage of people. So you guys got to do a little better than that. We are going through a very hard time, and of course, you can't punish people. You can't keep punishing the people as as we do that. So a good day to the good folks down in the Maikoni Creek and the Mahike area there, along the east coast of Demerara, wherever you are, from Victoria to the good people in Boxon. Somebody called me this morning and said that we have a lot of people in Boxon listening to us there. A good day to you guys. How you doing? To the good folks down in All Boys Song and in Tiger Bay. I want to say good day to you. You're my brothers and sisters. And I want to say good day to the good people down in Linden too, brothers and sisters there. Kwakwani, how you doing? Upper Barbies River there, the Upper Barbies area. I want to say good day to the people of Aituni, to the people up in Latam along the Rupunani Savannas. How you guys doing there? Hope you stay safe. Make sure that you protect yourself. Do not do anything that is going to endanger your government and endanger the people of Guyana. So we're going to go back to the calls right now, and we're going to come back to some more messages. Radzu, we have another caller there online. Hello. Yes, good day, caller, you on the air?
Good afternoon.
Yes,
How are
good
you?
afternoon. Good afternoon, ma'am. How are you doing?
You don't know who I call a lady from quarantine.
How are you doing? There's a lady who invite me to come by, she?
Yes. Every day I try to call you and
said,
I get you pick me and now only me get you. How much suffer to get to you?
I can come.
How much
No, I'm gonna come. Somebody was reminding me about you yesterday, but the lady who called, they said I gotta make sure that I come by you.
Yes. I'm gonna be so happy and my family will be so happy.
All right, I want to say
I'm
good
very
day.
sorry
A
for
good day
you,
to you
man,
guys down
today
in the
to get
quarantine.
COVID, but you look okay, you know. And
I look okay. You seen me from there?
Yes, I'm praying for you.
Okay,
And
thank you very much for that. We trying to stay safe, and I want you to stay safe too.
Yeah, use your fever grass, your
Yeah.
lemon, your ginger constantly.
Yes, I'm using it.
And use this
Thank you very much, ma'am.
soursop leaf.
Soursop leaf, that's another one. All right, I'm gonna hear that. I'm gonna do that. I hear it's very good.
Yes, and you get this thing you can use it to like teas and tulsi and so.
Tulsi.
Very good.
Tulsi make lovely tea. The lemongrass. So as you get older, you tolerate some of these things. I was telling somebody, I can remember the days when my body come out and say, "Well, it's time for Saint Pods and salts." I used to run away and hide. When it's time for lemongrass and tulsi, I used to run away and hide. But tisam and tulsi and so those are very, they make very nice tea. I like it now. So as you grow older, you see things differently. So I think the lady would have gone all the way from quarantine there. I want to say thank you very much for coming in with us. It's always good to hear from our folks and such positive attitude. I feel good at the end of the day, even if I'm feeling a little down. Even if I'm feeling a little down, you guys really boost me up. So thank you very much for that. It means a whole lot, a whole lot. So thank you very much for that. So let me read some more messages because a lot of people coming in to us here. Uh, let me see. Yesterday, medical personnel here informed residents here in Vietnam that there is a positive case. However, the identity of the person remains unknown. And this has caused the residents to panic as there's a huge concern by residents as it relates to the person that they would have come in contact with. And so, yes, it's understood that this person had to travel out via speedboat. Over 20 persons in that boat going and coming. Information was that the person could not have been contacted. We need information as people in this farming area has close contact. Very worrying. Let me say it to the people of Wakenham and Leg One and to Hog Island and wherever you guys are joining us from. or any places in this country, as a matter of fact, it doesn't matter what you're doing. You need to take the necessary precautions. The health authorities are saying that the precautions it's 6 feet apart. If you're seated in a minibus, the minibus should have no more than 7 persons in it, 7, 8 persons, including the conductor and the driver. That's one. If you are out in public, wear your mask. If you have COVID and you're home and you're self-isolated, stay away from your family. These are things that are basic. So I hear you what you're saying there, Wakenham, with regards to divulging the people's name. You got to be very, very careful with that. There's something called client, patient doctors confidentiality, so you don't want to be talking all these things unless the family want to talk about it. It's very difficult to put it out. However, what they should be saying to you is what I'm saying to you is that you guys need to practice. If you know that you have to work in the farm, make sure that you practice staying that 6 feet apart, um, that you wear your mask. It doesn't matter where you are, as long as people are around, please wear your mask. And with regards to them telling you the names, I don't see that happening in a hurry. This is something that's very difficult. I finally get my water connected yesterday for the first time. I had to pay the man $7,000 who did the connection, although I paid my $16,000 connection fee. Um, I think what this person is saying there's a bribe, or if you feel like giving a post girl $1,000 maybe by lunch, that's not a bribe. That's you feel for them. They're doing the work hard. But if you gotta pay that post person, that post girl, a postman to drop your mail to your house, that's a bribe. So if you paid some GWI workers and you happen to know them and you took the minibus number or wherever they came in front of your house with or to pick up, you should alert the GWI folks that this is what these guys did in order for you to think it. They're not going to disconnect your water, but what they should do is make it very clear that nobody should be taking bribes. And if it is that you had to pay the $7,000 for it to be connected, that is clearly a bribe. If you give them off your own, meaning that, I believe you did a good job, buy some lunch or something, that's a different situation. So let's make it very, very clear. Do not give anybody bribe. If you're giving people, if people taking money from you for a demand of a service that they're obligated or they're being contracted to do, that is not acceptable. You need to take some evidence of it and find a way of getting it out there, whether it's the GWI, whether it's the GPL, whoever it is. Excuse me, I feel a little dry here. Good afternoon, Leonard. I'm sorry to hear about your positive results. May God grace you this time. I'm from the East Bank of Berbice. My concern is that the president went to Kaieteur area, said the dispute, hamper and other stuff. There's a lot of needy people in our area, pensioners, sugar workers who would have lost their jobs, single parents. The president visited the villages during the campaign. During the campaign. Our special bottom house meeting with the supporters. We are looking forward to our hampers. These two villagers are diehard PNC, so PPP supporters. He promised to visit us back when he wins, so we're looking forward to his visit. And this is, of course, coming from the Kanji area. And hi there, good afternoon to all you wonderful people at Kaieteur Radio. I'm concerned about this cash van. If there's 2 or 3 people in one home and people are turning their own pot, are they entitled to this? So I think somebody did ask this question, yes, and I did say that. A family is a family, meaning that if you live in a building and there's 3 families, meaning you and your husband and your wife, and you could prove that you and your husband, you and your wife are there, and your mother and the father is living. I think you should have 2 separate things. They're talking about families here, and the family is not the people that live in the house that's considered one family. It could be a husband and a wife that's living downstairs and another one live upstairs. So these are different families. That's just to answer your question. So when the situation comes up, I think they have to make it very clear that you guys got to get it. Good day to you, Mr. Gildarie. I'm watching. I'm listening for my radio now. Keep up the good job. I listen every day. Thank you very much for this caller listener. Good afternoon, Leonard. I have a problem with GT&T. I'm calling them to fix my landline. It's not working over 2 months now. They come one time and it's a cable problem. Now they're not doing anything. Please highlight this for me. GT&T, I think what you need to do is go on Facebook and then probably put it on thing. But they're not listening. Every day we shaming them on here, and they're not listening to that. I can't understand that you're paying a service. But what I could advise you to do, the Public Utilities Commission. Let me pull up that number there for you. The Public Utilities Commission, and you guys should all take this number here, because the Public Utilities Commission in Guyana, they're very public utilities. 1 second, folks. Bear with me a little. I don't have any help here. Okay, the Public Utilities Commission. You guys take this number here. It's 226-7042. 226-7042. And I'm going to tell you a couple of things just now. And they're located in Queenstown, Georgetown. It's not in Sao Paulo as I see they have here. They have it wrong here. It's in Queenstown, Guyana. 106 New Garden Street, Queenstown. And the number is 226-7042. The Public Utilities Commission. And let me explain this to you. I gotta hydrate up a lot. I'm getting a little dry here. If you have an issue with the Guyana Water Authority, with Guyana Water Inc., the Guyana Power and Light Company, GPL, or the GT&T, Guyana Telephone and Telegraph Company, and you don't like the service that they're providing to you, or they did something wrong, that number that I give to you just now, 226-7042, is a number that you should call, and you could file a complaint to them. Especially but this GW, I think that the caller listener would have sent to me there a short while ago. If you pay a bribe, those are things that you should complain to them about. If you've made a complaint about a service for a repair to a service under the laws, under the utility laws, under the agreement that GT&T has with the government, that GPL has with the government, there's certain time that they're obligated to come and fix the problem. So all of these that you should know, and the Public Utilities Commission is headed by no other than the chairperson, Ms. Dealer Britton. And Dealer has been, sorry, let me don't be so formal. Ms. Britton has been a very accommodating, very approachable person. Use my name and say that Gildarie would have referred you guys. They're very friendly folks out there. And I probably am going to bring them on sometime. And maybe you could have a chat with them. They're always willing to come on board. So I'm going to have one of those guys come on maybe sometime. You can bring them. That's a good idea. I'm glad that this issue came up. We're going to bring them on and we're going to have a chat with them. So you could raise these issues. And we're going to bring them on every single week. So we could raise these issues and you could be able to use the Public Utilities Commission to talk about these things here. So let us continue. Let us continue to bring our people up to date with what is happening. Maybe before we head back to the line, let us read a couple of things. My neighbor is taking down names of persons to have the cash grant, and he's putting up all his friends' name on the list and other people in the community. Can you tell me who's responsible to share out any cash grant that the president spoke about? We did raise this issue yesterday. And it has been made clear by the authorities that every house, every family in Guyana is going to benefit from the $25,000. So whoever is taking name, I presume it doesn't matter whether you take the name or not. As long as you're family, you're going to benefit from the $25,000. We are waiting to the end of the week when they make that announcement, when they're going to start it, so people could start benefit from collecting on it. This is aside from any hamper or anything. We don't know of any hamper situation. I have not been told about that. I think the CDC is also looking at various communities in the hinterland that are benefiting from that. So we're going to continue to talk about that. With regards to, let's see, I don't agree with the caller. The country needs to be shut down completely right now since COVID-19 is spreading rampant. The $25,000 will help everybody for at least 2 weeks shutdown. If not, COVID-19 will continue to spread. New York is somewhat shut down. Cases have drastically dropped in New York because of the complete shutdown. COVID-19 is not a joke. Guyana don't have the medical capabilities to handle a huge outbreak of this virus. Good afternoon, Leonard. I appreciated the curfew is changed back to 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. However, I think that the capacity of the minibus in America should be changed back to 50%. I don't understand this. I'm not aware that the minibuses would have gone back to full capacity. If they're doing that, take the bus number, call the police. You guys need to open them out. You need to say that. They're not supposed to do that. You're endangering yourself. Do not allow them to bully you. The COVID-19 situation is really getting worse, and the buses are now carrying full capacity. I know a lot of people are hardworking people, simple people who don't like clashes. These minibus people and drivers. I want to say good day to the good, decent minibus people out there, as well as to the drivers of the taxis. Lots of good, decent men out there, good, decent women. You know, there are women driving minibuses too. But there are also a number of other folks, the other ones who are going to bully, the ones who drink the Guinness, who drink the beers, who smoke the marijuana and then decide. Like I saw a minibus on, I wish I had a picture of it, I can't remember. I did share it recently. Imagine somebody is overtaken on the Harbor Bridge. A minibus is overtaken. Who owns this minibus? Is it a policeman or something? Because it's totally unacceptable. I did send it to the PRO of the police. The PRO responded, I'm not sure. So that is not supposed to be. You're not supposed to have full minibuses, and that's totally in contradiction to what the authorities are saying. Good day, my brother. I hope you're getting better and wishing you a speedy recovery. COVID is real. People need to wake up. Just for your attention, for anyone who's stuck in Canada, repatriation flight from Toronto to Georgetown is on Saturday, September the 19th. You need to register with the consulate. I will send a photo of the information. Stay safe and God bless. Thank you very much, dear. This appears to be somebody from Canada. And so I want to, thank you guys very much. I'm getting a little dry here, so you guys bear with me a little. Leonard, hope you feel better, sir. Naming Mr. Schumann as Deputy Speaker is great for Guyana on the world stage. Great technical move on behalf of the government regarding the stimulus for 25,000 for each household. I hope that the government works with the local tax authority before issuing any remittances to the mass. Only poor people and working class people under $100,000 should be qualified for the stimulus. Let the government disburse these funds carefully because the people will cause more confusion. We cannot satisfy the appetite of the angry mobs. Exxon is downgraded on the Dow Jones. Let the government squeeze them for 30 to 30% royalty on the new project. Guyana is the only country that can rise Exxon from the grave. COVID-19 was left unattended by the government for the last 5 months. Sir, let the government test the people, otherwise we'll end up like Brazil and Peru. We do not have the infrastructure to deal with this crisis. The cavalier lifestyle must stop, otherwise your airports will never be open to international travel. Last but not least, the opposition must not incite thugs in Guyana. If Guyana was Afrocentric based, these GCOM employees and militant opposition personnel would have been on remand or sentence. I'm not sure what that means. But electoral fraud is treason. These thugs are working on the sentiments of the police force who are not acting in the interest of the people of Guyana and the stability of the government. Read between the lines. May Allah bless the leadership of the beautiful country. Thank you very much, dear, for a very concise and very several issues here. Um, Good afternoon, good evening, Gildarie. You getting diarrhea? You should drink. I know I'm not getting diarrhea. You should drink 1 teaspoon of castor oil every evening for 7 days. And lemongrass tea, plenty vitamins. I think I had it when I was in the US. Long long. I got 2 COVID tests before I came. My name is Abdul Haq. Thank you very much, dear Abdul. I have so many things to highlight, but I'm not getting through to the program. In the Leonard on Saturdays, many of the people don't wear masks, although the market is in a bad condition when it rains. Yes. Thank you very much. A lady did call me on this, and the lady says people there whenever they market, there are people who are blocking up the bridge and they're bullying the vendors in the market. People now wear masks, and you know it is very tough. And I don't know who's in charge. The NDC, where's the NDC? Where's the regional authorities when it comes to the people, the protection of the people? Where the market? I think constables, you guys need to do a little better than this. You need to monitor the people complaining. You cannot have your job and you not do it. You need to carry out your mandate. So I want to say to you guys over in the west coast of Demerara there, on the Leonard area, that you should know that we are paying attention. We are going to call them out whenever we hear cases like this. So let's get back to the studio there. Raj, do we have any caller? We want to hear from our people today, man. Where are they? Do we have
Hello, good
any of them online
afternoon.
there? Good afternoon. How are you doing, ma'am?
Good afternoon, Leonard.
How are you doing? How are you doing? Good afternoon.
Okay. Is the lady from Zilla calling you back about this, the ministers who asked you when they're working at housing?
Yes, they are the Ministry of Housing. You know what? Let me see if I could pull it up. I think they would have. I'm gonna ask. What you could do, send me a text of 62222. I'm gonna ask the ministry
No,
when
I
it is that
can't
they
do
have the
text.
open day.
I can't do text. I have a smartphone and I can't text.
No, you can text them through the norm. Oh, okay. The smartphone could do text, but I hear you.
I could give you my number if you want, but is the transporter talking about? Oh, but the girl have the transporter
Yeah, it's a
telling
transport.
you,
Yes.
right? That's why I want to read the
Right.
minister.
I know. I think they're now going to.
Pardon me?
Right. All right. Here what we're gonna do. You're gonna call the switchboard, my switchboard at the workplace there, 2258491.
Okay, why bring the pen and the paper there? Just a Leonard.
2258491. Yes,
Two,
ma'am.
two. Call it back again. Leonard.
22584 2258491.
225
Yeah, 2258491.
Yeah, 225
8491.
How much?
Yeah, you talk to the security there and tell them 8491.
491. Yeah.
You got it? Yes. You talk to the
Two,
security
two.
there, tell
Two,
them give
two.
me that number there, the lady from Zealand,
Call it back
and
again and
I'm gonna
tell
get
him.
you the information.
Okay, call it back one time.
225
225.
225 8491.
225 8491. Yeah. Leonard, I have something
Yes,
to
ma'am.
ask you. How, you okay? You feel okay?
I'm feeling a little
Enough?
dry and dehydrated right now, but I'm there.
Okay. I'm telling you, right? My husband and me, we done ageable already. I'm 60, over 60, right? And my husband is 61. And I ain't get my transport as yet. There's one. And then again, my husband not working, and I'm not a healthy person. You understand? When I'm telling you, this time here now, they say 65 you get pension, right? But what I'm saying, by the time you reach 65, you die. You ain't getting nothing.
I know.
Yeah, I
I
know.
hear what you're saying. And we could do so much better if we get our oil act together, meaning we
Yes,
should
I
benefit from the
understand.
oil. Everybody could
Yeah,
benefit.
because I
We gotta
understand
fight. We really gotta fight for it, man.
Yeah, because I understand they're pushing you out a lot.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
gotta fight it. It's not easy. It's not easy.
yeah, I know.
A lot
Yeah,
of people
that's
complaining.
right. Yeah, I know.
People really get it hard. A lot. You know who I'm sorry
Yeah,
for?
yeah,
The citizens are really suffering in this country.
yeah.
If
Me
you
too.
hear the amount of calls
I
someday,
know. Yeah,
I'm depressed because you
I
would hear the people calling you and what they
yeah,
complaining. They're complaining.
yeah,
The things are hard. People are really hard. People struggling. A man tell me
yeah,
that he has a shop, and when he see people coming and buy the kind of things that they're buying, one egg, one tennis ball, we back to those
yeah.
days.
Totally not. That's truth going on. And then again, the shop people ain't got to think the price high, Leonard. The things them in the shop is really high when you go and buy some things. It's really a high price.
Yeah, because the grocery prices, everything has gone up. So we
Leonard,
gotta understand people are really suffering. People are really suffering here
yeah.
now. Chicken prices,
Imagine.
everything gone up.
Yeah. Imagine I used to buy a tin of can for 120 and then thing. Now you know how much a tin of can?
How much is that?
260. This
Wow.
lifestyle spray, right? This lifestyle spray, I just buy it, right? You know how much you want it? 2,000 something now.
What? 2,000
Yeah.
after a license spray.
Yeah. I'm showing you to that store when you go in and buy a little ration, your got these things and stuff. And you know what to say, by because at present my husband at work, I find it hard. I'm not a healthy person, and I know we are could see. And then me getting my transport one, I know what more to do. Because this girl at reading hope there, Miss Means, I think she name, right? She have the transport and
Mm.
she ain't doing nothing with it.
Yeah, because the entire court system and everything is really held up. Let me tell you this: don't underestimate the damage to this country that would have been
Yeah,
done because of this last 5 months that we were held up because of
yes,
this election. We had a double whammy. We had the elections on one hand, we had COVID on the other hand, and
of
it was
course.
it was really hurt our people. On the other side, we had some idiots, and I am not apologizing for this. We had some
Uh-huh.
idiots who was pushing this race issue
Yeah,
and really divided our people. I never
yeah.
ever forgive them for that. It is
Once I
sad
had
what they
some
did to
people,
us.
once I had some people come and share some things in this place here, and they choose and give them, pick and choose and give these things, and then I share to every house. You understand?
I hear your sister.
They
So
have for that.
you can call the number there, leave your number, and I'm gonna give you a call back because I'm gonna try
Okay,
to get when is the days that you could probably go in and meet the minister.
okay.
I've
Your,
spoken to Miss Minister Colin Kroll. I've
uh-huh.
spoken to Minister Colin Kroll, and we had an interview with him a couple of days back, and he's a very approachable person.
Yeah.
He did say because of his open door policy that he's been so overwhelmed, and when you have a minister, the only thing that, in addition to meeting with the people, you got so many other things that you're doing. But at the
Yeah.
end of the day, they're there to serve the people, so they
Yeah,
have to
man.
serve the people, and they've been
Yeah,
elected
man.
to do that. So it is.
I'm glad how these ministers are moving, they're working a lot, and then again, the two will get the COVID. I'm really sorry for them too, right? Because they go for help the COVID-19 and look what happen. You understand? And we gotta keep looking
Yeah,
at
it
what
is.
happened.
We got to careful. You see, the
Yeah.
worrisome thing is not the people. I would say that I'm relatively young, relatively healthy or so, but you
You
still
the
feel
feel
uncomfortable.
sick
Like I'm
when you had
sitting
this
here.
thing? Leonard?
Yeah,
Leonard,
yeah,
you the
I
feel sick when you had
yes.
it? You the feel sick?
No, I
When
have
you
it. I'm positive for it. I'm positive. I'm tested positive. I'm operating from home right now, in fact.
okay. You need my number?
No, you're gonna call the workplace, give them the number, and I'm gonna get it from them.
Go. Okay, okay. All right then. Thank you very much, and see if you can help me out,
And hang in
man.
there. Don't give up, man. Don't give up. As I say to
Good.
everybody else, we have
Nah, and
life
we
in
look.
the air. And so, as long as we have life, there's hope, right? All right. So the sister's gone. They're all the way from Zealand. She's been calling and she's been with us from day one, also complaining. And she has an issue there. And we use this program here. This program is going to give the people a voice, maybe a way of bringing some resolution to some of the issues that we have. Even though we can't solve everything here, maybe we could come up with some ideas. Like I saw some people person there saying that one of the Lysol tin is $5,000. 5,000. I'm not sure whether it's $5,000 or Lysol. Who buys? I mean, if you're not working a lot of money, how do you buy that? So you got to use some other alternatives. It's not fancy things that it's gonna work. Maybe one of these days we could probably talk alternatives to the big expensive stuff that we could use instead of buying potato. Can we use Edo? A lot of people are gonna get upset with me, including my kids. They don't like Edo. They like potato, and so I have an issue because I grew up on Edo, and Edo is very good. I believe. I think it's far better than a lot of the drum provisions. It's good for your blood. It tastes great. It makes a nice choker. Who knows about Edo choker? If you don't know, you should try it. But at the end of the day, we have to be starting to look at alternatives, how we could uplift this country in other way. Look at how we could reduce our food bill, seeing whether we could raise, or at least grow some of these food right here. I was up in Borbis, and I think they were looking at some alternatives. A man is planting corn. People are planting corn up there. Um, People planted so many things up there. We should start planting. I think they were experimenting with the cauliflowers and the broccoli and so on. These are things that has to be done right. The carrots right here, we need to do it. And we don't need to bring in anything like into the country. We could find a way of doing apples and those kind of things. So let's do it here. Yes, we could do it. They've been experimenting with that. Soy is a big thing in Brazil. We have lots of lands here. They've been looking to expand themselves into Guyana. Many opportunities. So let us know. So if you guys don't know, like Pam Singh says, she knows about arrow choker. So Pam, it is I think it's a nice thing. I think you could make some nice cream arrow with you could throw in some nice. I'm not sure what you could throw in, but I like it with butter and things like that. If you can mash arrow, tastes really nice. So we have some good things right in this beautiful country of ours. Raj, I've been keeping somebody on the line or off the line there for a long time. Could you find out if they want to talk to us? Yes, could they call you on the line?
Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon. How are you doing, ma'am?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm called for tell you that we're glad to hear your voice, and you're not just giving up because you have this coronavirus. And I wish you all the best to get well.
Yes, I'm praying for it too. I don't like being locked up. You know, it's like being locked up. Let me tell you about that. I haven't ventured past the gate since Tuesday because I am in a lockdown mode. It's not a good thing.
Okay, I know that you missed the studio also, but we're thankful that we still have you to
Yes, yes.
hear your voice. And take care of yourself and
Thank you
your
very much. So where are you
family.
calling from?
I'm
Uh,
calling from
and where are you
Farmer
calling
Bank.
from?
I calling from the Farmer Bank.
Where you calling from?
Farmer
Okay,
Bank.
Farmers Bank. Thank you. Okay, how was the day? I hear there were some crimes in that area. Has it eased up or what's happening?
When get you?
I said we would have received a lot of complaints about
Oh,
a lot
we
of
have
crimes in that area.
this area here is still busy with that what you call talking there, and many people are still partying at this time. Right now we have a lot of music back of us here, and they are still sporting and they are not wearing their mask. And then we have another problem in the area. People are we are struggling to pay our bill at this time. People are getting free water and free light at the area. They are happy people because they don't have to pay any bill.
What do you mean free water? Like explain that to me. The thieving?
Exactly. If you come by the Kaieteur, you see a big post or light post there. You must have a 40 wire and it tie up. And then they
Oh,
get
I glad right. Yeah, I glad that you remind me of that. I got to remind those people. You know, these are not things that is right. And I presume that they have light and water run to the place, and yet people stealing.
there are people in the people who live at the city fence.
Uh,
These people at the city
oh,
fence, they are the happiest people. They don't have to pay for water. They don't. They just hook up the wire on the post and they get water, current.
the city fence people. Those are the Venezuelans we talk about, or those are Guyanese living there
We
too.
have right good Guyanese and we have Venezuelans now too. They are the
Oh my
happiest people.
goodness!
And then they have a lot of legal board.
Wow.
These
All
contractors,
right.
them who work at the water place, they are taking money
Uh,
from the people them and give them a legal bill. So who water is cutting off for 3 years now, 4 years now, the same contractor and cut what they have the cut water. The same contractor they come back on
uh,
Sunday or on holiday with a car and put on back take a small piece. They come back and put on back the water for the people. And so right now, if they
so
take check,
right, and
if they take
that's how
check
it
in the
pass. Huh? The
computer,
thing there is pass.
well, if they take check in the computer
Right,
for
right.
2 3 years, you go see the people who have money, but they are not connect back them pipe, but they still get water in the house. Lots of
So the
people doing
question
that.
is asking, GWI should have known because if these people are not connected back where they getting water from, right? They should be investigated.
They should have somebody to investigate that and go and check the pipe, see they're getting water.
Because you're supposed to, if you got that from man for 3 years, you're supposed to know. You're supposed to be checking where you get water from. So for the
Well,
last 3 years, what did you do? I mean, these are things I don't have to tell you to do that, but I hear from what you say there. Okay, sister, thank you very much. All the way from Farm on the East Bank of Demerara. Beautiful place. So thank you very much there to the sister telling us there about what is happening on the Sea Dam area or what we know as a river dam. Excuse me. You guys got a beer. I'm feeling a little dry here. Um, so let's read a couple of the texts that's been coming in. Um, my dear friend, and he's saying that Leonard, listen to your callers. I live in Guyana for the last 4 years since I left. I cannot return because of the COVID. Let me be honest and let my people know. If I do not assimilate and hard work towards a goal in the Western world today because of COVID-19, I would have had to beg in the streets of New York and bring tears to my eyes to see people on their knees because of this crisis. And remember the 8th day strike in the 1962. But I never thought these days would return to Guyana. Boss, Guyana is my home. I've always said that when I retire now, that I'm 65, I'd return home and live comfortably. I've made arrangements to give away all of my retirement benefits to my people in Guyana. What can I do now? It has no value. COVID has dominated the world for a while. Can you imagine the pressure of our government will be under to deliver? And you're so right. Um, I think we were going merrily on the way. Some people look at the COVID as maybe a blessing in disguise for some, because had we not had the COVID, maybe we'd have lost the entire Guyana with the way things were going, with the way things were being sold out and everything else. And that's a reality. Make no apologies for saying that. People would have been complaining about a lot of things that were going wrong. It put a halt on everything. But on the flip side of that, there was some collateral damage, meaning there were people who were heavily impacted, people who lost their jobs right away. And if you see people not coming out because people are ashamed, maybe people have the pride, they don't want to come out and say how bad it is that they're suffering, but they owe the banks. They're not buying like how they used to buy before. They're not buying the clothes. They can't go to a party. So there's a lot of things that this entire situation here of pandemic has taught us some lessons that is very, very harsh. But we've started to appreciate, I have started to appreciate some of the things that are natural to Guyana, about our provisions, about so many things that we have right here in this country that I appreciate that. So, but it has also brought out some ugliness, some things that I would not have liked to see. That I had some friends call me, people who are suffering and they want help, and they're not afraid to ask. But there are many Guyanese who are really, really suffering also, and they're not asking and they're suffering silently. So it's not an easy situation for a lot of people. I hope that maybe we could get this over with so we could go back to normalcy. I don't see it happening within the next 6 months based on the figures that we've seen here. You hear the lady from Farm calling just now, what the lady is saying, people sporting, people thieving electricity, people thieving water, like when it's, it's like there's no tomorrow. People now wearing a mask. What is the need? We're the people who have brains to be able to tell these people here that what you're doing is wrong. We're the neighbors. Like, people don't advise the neighbors or anything, or it's none of my business. They're living over there. Let them do what they want to do. That's our attitude. We have to start doing things a little differently. Let's open our mouths, because when they do things like that, it affects us. The longer the borders are going to take to open, the longer it's going to be that we come back to some level of normalcy. I also wish to highlight something about our teenagers in school time, from Puerto Rico all the way to Georgia. These children would go on the road doing all sorts of ridiculous things. We see traffic officers in the morning. Why not in the morning? Parents need to get out and need to get more involved with the children's lives. Maybe the ministry needed to put measures in place when school reopened. Yes, I could remember somebody complaining that they get some not working teenagers and some young boys. Um, they would be hanging around the corners when the little girls go to school. Some teenagers, girls barely out of the 12 and 13 and so. And the little girls and the trouble, the little girls, and it is a big gang up there. And sometimes they rob some of the people. This is what is happening. It happens in Diamond there. Fortunately, some of the police would be coming out and chase them, but the police can't be there 24/7. It is a big issue that we have, that if you're not paying attention to what your kids are doing, and probably I'm going to tell you a little story sometime or the other about TikTok. about Instagram, something or the other, and about how kids, you need to monitor what is happening, or else you could have a situation right under your nose that's happening, and you weren't aware. It's very easy that somebody is online with their little kids and they are talking to somebody who may or may not be a pedophile or somebody who's just out for kicks. And they, the turn and twist the little kids, the little children head. They don't know better, and things can happen. So you need to pay attention. You need to monitor. We need to do what is the correct thing. What parents do. So there's so many things that we need to know. I know my little daughter is gonna not like what I have to say, but it is what it is. Um, the system at CHMP is not working, but I need to sell my house here in Richmond Hill and come home and build my house and die in peace and drink more. It was JWB. It does look like JWB with coconut water with Glen. I think this looks like Johnny Walker. Johnny Walker Black. Man, how could I miss this? I gotta be a little old. So the guy wanted to come back here and settle down, and he wanted to drink Johnny Walker Black with coconut water with Glen. I think Glen don't drink Johnny Walker anymore. Maybe he does it once in a while. What he does drink is he like vodka, he like Absolute. So if you're listening, Mr. Lal, somebody knows that you like Johnny Walker. I mean, I don't know. Leonard, you sound a little more congested today than he has. Keep on drinking warm fluids, feel better today. Praying for your speedy recovery. Yeah, I'm not feeling that very well. I feel my nose a little, and I feel a little heavy coming up. Not having diarrhea though, but thank you very much for that. Raj, Joshua, could you go back to the lines? Let's hear from our people. What are they doing? I want to hear from them. What are you guys doing?
Why you give me
Hi,
advice,
good afternoon. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to give my advice. I got a minibus, right? And I pay 15,000.
Yes, sir.
Me minibus in private. I pay 15,000 revenue every time I go renew.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
How much supposed to be?
It's supposed to be
How much is supposed to be?
It has to be 4,000, past 4,000. Because I got another minibus. I paid 3,000 something.
Did you raise the issue with them?
Two different minibus.
Did you raise the issue with them?
I got all the documents.
Yeah, but why? What are the numbers?
The number for?
Okay, but that's strange. So did you raise that issue with is it a BPP number or PPP number? What is it?
It been in B and I changed from B to P. From B to P, I used to pay.
So both of them are in P at the moment?
May I hear you?
And both of them are in P at the moment? Both of them are in P at the moment?
Both in P, yeah. I just sent a WhatsApp on your phone there. A couple of the morning come back.
Oh, my apologies. There's so many that are just coming in. Well, let me tell you what you could do. When you're going back to GR, because GR is the one who is charging for those revenue license, you need to stop and you need to see the manager and you need to raise the issue.
I've been to three
Did
times.
you do?
And the supervisor tell me go downstairs. When I go to downstairs to the cashier tell me you gotta pay that. You gotta pay it. She started roll with me. And I had to pay the 15,000. I got all the documents.
That's strange.
Yeah.
Could you do me a favor? Could you do me a favor?
You say how you pay so much. You like you got a truck. No, I got a minibus. Private, I got a min. I don't pay three times. I pay 15,000.
Here, what you're gonna do for me? See if you can take out some pictures of the minibus. The what you call it? The documents and send it to me, and I would send it to Mr. Station.
Okay.
Could you WhatsApp it to me or something?
Yeah. I send it ready for you. Yeah, ready registration.
All right. Right. Send it back to me, and then let me send it to Mr. Station. Maybe you could probably send me with your number and everything to my private thing, and we're gonna take it from here.
Okay. I tried a long time to get through you, man. It's a long time. Yeah.
My apologies, man. We're trying to work on the program. We're gonna get better. We're improving it. When things are back to normal, we're gonna open the lights.
Yeah. Okay, thanks. Right? Okay then.
Yeah, my brother. God bless. Bye bye. All right. So we are gonna try to think. This is okay. My husband worked 17 years in Guyana. Let me see. This is, okay. We'd like to know if you could please look into the matter. We traveled in 2018 on flight. Jamaica got stranded and had to book a next flight out. Now, they did not give us any answers about our money. Yes, I could answer you right there. You could talk to the consumers. Let me tell you how you can get that. It's the consumers. One second. The consumers body that is in Sapphire there, they have been taking some consumers affairs, consumers. Okay, here it is. You could go to Facebook if you have that caller listener. You could go to Facebook and there's a body called the Consumers Guyana Competition and Consumer Affairs Commission. It's being headed by a lady called Dawn. I forget what her name is, but it's been headed by that lady. But the Guyana Competition and Consumer Affairs Commission, and it's located in Sophia. And you could go on the Facebook and get onto them, and maybe you could raise an issue. They were looking into the Flight Jamaica issue there and who they would have had money for, and you could probably see whether you could raise that issue and see whether you could get back your money. So that is what I could say to you at the moment with regards to that. Let's come back to some other messages. Do we have other messages here? Leonard, listen to your callers. I lived in Guyana for the last 4 years. Since I left, I cannot return because of the COVID. Let me be honest and let my people know. Okay, well, I think this is the same one. I don't think we have any more messages. We would have read everything there that was sent to me. But let's go back to the lines. Raj, do we have any other callers that we want to hear from the people? It is the Wake Up Guyana show here on Kaieteur Radio 99.99, 99.1, 99.5 FM. We're coming to you, Kaieteur Radio, as well at Facebook and Kaieteur Radio live stream on YouTube. Let's get back to the lines. We want to hear from our people. Good afternoon, caller, you on the air?
Yeah, good afternoon, Leonard. Hope you feel
Yes.
well soon.
Good afternoon, sir.
I heard the lady was calling
Yes, I hope
about,
so too. Thank you.
her water being cut off for 3 years. Man, this is funny. Even before the it was water rates were moved from MNCC to Guyana itself, the lines in my yard were cut off, and wholly I get bills every month from Guyana for these things. There is no water in the yard.
That's an interesting one.
And I'm getting bills every month. Every single month
You got a PUC number there, right? 226747042. Raise the issue with them and let it
Yes, I'll have to do that because I keep getting bills all the time, and there's no water lines to the yard.
Right. And so
I have no idea.
I think they're in a mess. They're in a mess. And let me tell you this.
Because my mother's line, I paid for the whole year for my mother, and the bills keep coming up to now with no deduction on them. So I find it very, very weird. I pay for a whole year, and the bills here every month, $2,000 every single month.
That's not supposed to be. Then you need to have that rectified. Call the PUC 226747042. Tell them that I say let them look into this matter here and try to get it fixed for you.
Okay then, thanks man. I hope you get well soon.
Yeah, thank you very much, Jay Caller. Let me say this because this matter has been coming up and when you see people stealing current, when you see people stealing water, when you see that you're paying a high bill to the Guyana Water Inc., to the GPL and to the GT&T, it is because a couple of people are getting free service. And if you know people getting free service and you're paying for them, why are you sitting on your hands? You need to say something. You need to call them in and you need to report the matter. We need to stop this. There's an entire community that is located in South Georgetown area, on the East Coast, places on the East Coast, where GPL for a long time couldn't go in because the people there, when they go in, people run them out. People even burned up to minibuses because I think was it in one of the East Coast villages? GWI minibus went into that area there and they lit it afire. That is how bad we've become that we want to steal electricity. There was a time when it went to fire, you couldn't walk and you would hear from time to time people being electrocuted because you had wires taken out of every other house that you could think about running across the grass to an area, to a pole that is located nearby. That's because it's become a culture that we steal if you don't have electricity. Even if you have electricity, we continue to steal. So Peter, Paper, Paul, you and I who pay normally, we pay for everybody who's stealing. And in addition to that, the feedback could have some effects on the actual circuit in itself by having in those illegal connections because you can have wires arcing and so on. Former GPL CEO Biden India would explain to you how some of these technical situations could have a impact on our reliable supply of electricity. So that's where it's at. So I want to say a good day to you, wherever you join us from. The good day to the people right across from the good United States of America, from Canada, from Europe. Thank you very much, dear, all the way. Think Ken, a good day to you, Ken, always with us. I hope when you in Guyana that you come visit me. And whenever you guys in Guyana, come visit. Give us a call and let us know what you guys are doing. Things are gonna eventually ease up for people. Not gonna last forever. I think I would have read a book on literature. I think was it Maroon 5? No, not Maroon. Maroon. It was about the Maroons in Jamaica, and it says God doesn't give you more than you can bear. And I want to bring that to you that we might see ourselves, if you believe in God or there's an Almighty or something that you believe in, that there is these little situations, and I say little, don't be strong people. We've been through so many things in the past. We're gonna rise from this, and we're gonna rise in a very good way. I'm very confident in that, and it's gonna make us stronger what we're going through here because our people, they're very very tough people. They're strong people too. So we're gonna become even stronger, and which is a good thing for this country. So let us bear up a little. Let us hang in there. Let us try to protect ourselves and let the authorities do their work in terms of ensure that it manages right through this entire period. I want you to protect yourself. Wear your mask, ensure that you're not wrong. Don't go to any party. Do not go to any bottom house party or any backyard party. If you hear anything like that, tell them, no, no, come and send the food. Send the drinks over to my house. I'm going to party right home. You need to protect yourself. Do not endanger your life. Do not do anything that is going to put you out there. It is not an easy thing with COVID and a lot of people who are suffering. So I want to go back to the lines and hear from Raj. Raj, do we have another caller there? Yes, good afternoon, caller. You're there?
Good afternoon.
Yes. Good afternoon. How are you doing? You sound very good.
Yeah, Mr. Gildarie.
Yes, it is. And you on the air. Go ahead. What do you have to say to us today?
Yeah, I'm calling from Essequibo.
Yes.
We're in the pandemic right now. So we have a problem in Essequibo once again.
What's the problem?
Well, the sanitary coming wrong, right? And they are telling
Yes.
us, which is not wrong, they say that we have to get, these things where you've got to put on your forehead to see the temperature gauge.
Yes.
They are telling us that we have to get it at the mandir or the church or the masjid, which is good. But what I've seen is that they said before you go to the mandir church that you have to do this temperature check. Now we look around for buy one because we are going to the masjid or the mandir. But what we see now that the people in the pharmacy, especially the pharmacy in Essequibo, they're selling one of these things for $20,000. So
I don't understand. But before that, I don't understand that you're being forced to buy a temperature gauge.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
The sanitary tell us that if we don't have that, we cannot keep no service at the mandir or the masjid. The sanitary tell us that in
No, but what I'm saying. But they're also saying that you should have one at home too?
No, not home. You have to have it at the masjid or the mandir when you go to pray.
Okay.
You must have a temperature there. Right?
Uh-huh.
But when we find out...
So you're complaining about the price for these machines?
Yeah, because the people them are selling for $20,000 for one in the pharmacy. So I was wondering if that is the exact price for one.
No, I'm not sure. I think it was just over about $9,000. But a lot of people, like I'm saying, a lot of people, including the supermarkets and everybody, they really. This is not a good term to use, but they have the foot on the backs of the Guyanese or the neck of the Guyanese people
Yeah,
by
but Mr.
demanding these
Gildarie, I
extraordinary
can't see
price.
why they're selling you one of these things for $20,000 and $18,000 for one. But what I find see that even though they're sanitary are telling us that we have to get at the mandir or the masjid to keep it so, they're not telling the restaurant and the bars them that the barman is not testing the people there when they go to drink, but people are sitting in the bar still. But I'm
Well,
not in the sanitary visit the restaurant and
right,
bar.
right. And that's one of the problems that we have. There's not an even-handed thing. In America, they're so tough with things that happen there. If they come in, if you build it in a store, if they pass and see you doing any construction, the first thing that they ask you for, do you have a permit for that, sir? And if you don't have a permit, you shut down. I happen to know that that happens all the time. That's because you have experts, technical people who are there doing the job, and it doesn't matter what you're doing. Well, as long as you don't have the permit, so you don't have the papers, they're not going to give you any kind of leeway. And
Well,
Guyana, what we have is a bunch of people. The left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing.
Yeah, Mr. Gildarie, why you find seeing that some people are glad that they have the pandemic because they could bring in this thing and put the price what they want because they feel that you have to get it.
Right.
You can understand that temporary they're selling it for $18,000 in Essequibo.
Wow. And I think that's a shame. That's a shame. And it's not only that, it's all over the country. People are really, they really set up the price. And we can tell you about the price of.
I hear some woman say some spray selling for $5,000 because once you have to get these things, the people are not putting a price on it. And I think this is exploitation,
it's wrong.
Mr. Gildarie. I think this is unfair for the people there. People are not helping out with the pandemic.
I agree with you.
With the pandemic.
I agree with you. People taking advantage.
People not helping out with the pandemic. People are killing you with the pandemic more because once they have to get this thing, the price suddenly jump up. And that's what they're doing. The supermarket and the pharmacy in Esquibo are selling it for that price. $18,000 for a temperature. You can imagine that?
I hear you, brother. We got to keep calling them out because I'm going to try to find out what the price of one of those.
Yeah,
things.
thank you, Mr. Gildarie.
But I definitely believe it should be 18. It should not be 18 or 20,000. That's too much, man. Thank you. God bless you. And so that is the recurring story that you'll hear. And people taking advantage during this pandemic time to make a lot of money. Pharmacies, you guys got to be a little more human than that. It's not good. People have been complaining. So I want to say good day. This is a Wake Up Guyana show, and you guys have been waking me up, not feeling so well, but you guys have really pushed me to take it to the next level. And we coming to you on Kaieteur Radio 99.1, 99.5. Want to say good day to my folks down there at Kaieteur News, all the reporters, Mr. Glenn Lyle, how you guys doing? The editor, Charmian, how you guys doing? And so, of course, down in our radio, Raj and Joshua has been manning things, keeping things alive there. Thank you very much for that. And of course, to all our people who've been joining us right across our 3 counties. I want to say good day to the Bar Beach people, to the Port Moran people. How you guys doing? Rosa Market, how you guys doing? I want to say good day to the sugar workers. I know you guys have been putting up with a lot of things. You guys have suffered. It is, let's see how that goes. There have been some promises with the sugar industry. Let us see. You guys got to hang in there and, don't give up. Do not give up. And when it comes to the Esquibo people, I want to say good day to you. You guys got to do what's the correct thing. What's the correct thing? Let us don't do anything that's wrong. Keep safe on the road. Continue to protect yourself. Continue to protect your family. Do not break the laws. Do not do anything that is gonna put our people in danger. So let me see if there's other. I think I've been sent some other other messages. Hey, good afternoon. Always listen to the program. I have one problem. Let me see. I agree with the caller. We cannot shut down for years. The average pandemic lasts 2 years. We need to make a balance in work and handling the virus. This is, hi, good afternoon. Always listen to the program. Very interesting. I have a problem with my water meter. It's not working. GWI is charging me $3,920 every month. The problem is that we don't even use the water. I went to them and they say they can't do anything. I'm living in the Essequibo Coast. This problem should be brought to the attention of the PUC. You guys, 226-7040, call them and let them take your information there. I was made to understand, good afternoon, Leonard. I was made to understand that the NDC is responsible for identifying who should be given the $25,000 COVID relief. I'm very sure there's big room for corruption here. Point is that the vouchers, the councillors will make sure that the friends and family benefit from the same. Don't think that this is the correct way to go. I'm not sure if they continue at that angle. There were some people who were going around taking names, but this new information that we have here now, I think at the end of the week, let's wait and see, because we are going to raise those issues with them. Which families are going to benefit? And you cannot have, if you have a daughter that's living with a mother and father, you cannot have that daughter being classified herself as a family. That daughter is part of the family. But if there's a husband and wife that live downstairs of a family, or they live in another part of the house, there's a possibility, but the authorities would have to verify that. So you'd have to prove that, you know, you have your wife, and, you know, let's see how that goes. So we are going to continue to pay attention to that. In the meantime, let me see. I'm concerned about the reopening of the airport, where we have our families that want to come. Some people have their husband, wife, and kids that are stuck and want to come back to spend time, and they're delaying every month. People cannot afford an Eastern airline flight, and they're not allowing any commercial flight. Yes, this is an issue here with the flights. The authorities do not have any. We don't have the resources to monitor what is happening in this country here. When you allow these people to come, in addition to monitoring the persons who come in here, we have the hospital systems that is flooded. That's flooded with people. We don't have enough space, enough beds to cater for people. We have people being asked to stay home. People who are COVID-19 positive being asked to stay home and to monitor themselves, and the authority would try to monitor them. So we have to be cognizant of that. When you open the airport, who's going to monitor these people here? So you guys take care and just make sure that you protect yourself. Raj, do we have another call? Let's make sure that we have our callers continue to come in. I want to hear from our people today. Caller, you on the line. Go ahead.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am. How are you doing?
Hey, Leonard. Good afternoon, buddy.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. How are you doing, brother?
Problem with the NIS, man. Yeah.
What happened to the NIS?
Yeah. Me get accident 1987, the 5th of September accident, right? Me start work back the 11th of June 1988. From 88 to 89, non-record no proof for my contribution. I worked 28 years with them.
Where were you working?
Guys who go Blairmont Estate. Yeah,
Blairmont Estate?
Yeah, boy.
And when you went to NIS, what they said?
Then give me one set of thing here where the contribution fixed that, but then I give me for that 2 years. Now 1990, then give me 7. 1993, then give me 9. And now regular worker. And I get paid out the 5th of 2005, I get paid out, right? Good. Before that, we had one problem with them, but when I last this thing on my rent house, and this other day, the man find them and they bring them to me. This thing happened since 87 to 80, right? Me get, you know how much, you can tell me how much percent you get from medical NIS before you get on permanent pay from them? How much percent like? You get any idea?
I have no idea. What I'm going to do, I'm going to bring back the lady there.
Well, me hear that
what you could do,
but me know what body.
Oh, man. And you've reached what age now? What age you carry now?
Me just 63 nobody, and now me and I same thing now rang up ban, and me not get me full contribution when Mr. Jose get.
And you passed 750 contribution.
Pardon me, what?
You passed a 750 contribution. Did you pass that?
Yes, me get 28 contribution here. 26 and 2 years now fine. They give me 1,000.
Okay.
1,061 contribution for 28 years, 26, and then when I find 2. And with 1990, they give me 2. 1993, they give me.
But you're receiving something now.
Yeah, I get to benefit from about the contribution and right board. And then
Yeah. You gotta continue. You gotta continue to appeal it to them and let them fix that. And I presume as soon as they can get that fixed,
you know how much benefit
they are gonna rectify it. But yeah, I know because a lot of people. You're not the only one. A lot of people complaining, and I think NIS is overwhelmed based on what I'm hearing there. And it's sad because a lot of people complaining. Yeah, a lot of people complaining.
Yeah, here
it's not a good thing.
Here this report medical art given by Dr. F. William, right? F. ECP, right? And Dr. Iley, F. NCP-E. They give me this report here, right? The person particular disability filed a 14% disability recommended permanent. Now, me last is carrying this report here, NIS office in New Amsterdam. The same year I get this thing from medical arts, right? When we came into them, they make a photocopy. They said that I got to get 15% before I get one permanent money from NIS. Somebody advised me to back one next one and give them again. So I get 2 photocopy, give them there. Now when I go for them to get back something from them, they say the thing last. Me ask the man, if a big rapper living here takes this money. Now, from 87, listen me good, right? From 87 to 88, I start work back. Then 9 months. You know what money them are paying for that 9 month body? $800. When it ain't going, you claim last, you claim missing. Me say body me know if rapper in here can eat out only me claim by. So you know what benefit me?
Yeah, boy, and that that's a problem a lot of people complaining about, and NIS need to get it act together. They need to get it on. I don't know what to say there, boy. I'm gonna continue thing because there's many cases like you, and I think there are thousands of cases like you, and everybody that been calling me have a similar situation, like you said, that they're missing years and so on, and NIS is not doing anything but it.
No man, they not do nothing. Here, what me want to do for me, right?
Well, let me see how it goes.
If you get any idea about how much percent disability you got to get from NIS, right? Before you get on regular paper, you can please inform me tomorrow on your radio station. Because you don't give me 40.
Well, I'm gonna try to bring back. What's the question? What percentage? What percentage?
What do you mean, like what?
Hello?
Yeah, I listen.
No, you asked me a question.
Yeah.
Ask me the question. I'm gonna bring the woman and I'm gonna ask her back. The PRO. 14%
permanent disability. Now, me came my NIS office in New Amsterdam. They say I got to get 15%. So I miss this paper, this certificate to make up a medical art. I miss somebody and one teacher by, we in a rental house, right? And we move out and the teacher by find back this thing on ceiling. And he give me share and keep him and query this thing. No, me no know. You're going to I say come back. He say you are the fittest man. Because what you do for the guy, he's a really good thing to put out for everybody. Not tell honest soup. Long me hear discussion from you.
Let me see. I'm gonna bring back that lady there. I'm gonna ask her about that 14-15% and see whether maybe she can't look at that the situation and see whether maybe she could give you some answers. I'm gonna bring her back.
Yeah.
I did promise to bring her back today, but everybody got a little busy today. I'm gonna try to bring her back before the week is out.
Well, here now.
I know, my brother.
Put them through the year, right? With how much percent disability you entitled to figure on permanent paper and NIS? Because me get 14 here. When me carry in my NIS office in Amsterdam, they say I get 15. Somebody tell me they get 10 and they may not collect money.
Wow.
Permanent 14%.
All right, I'm going to raise this issue with her. I'm going to bring her back and I'm going to raise this issue.
All right, buddy. Me glad if when you bring shit then we can get through because you know what they mean if you get through with you?
Where you calling from, what?
Yes, I'm from Cotton Tree here, buddy.
Yeah. Where you calling from? You said Blairmont, right?
Yeah, Blairmont.
Cotton Tree.
Yeah.
All right, my brother. You stay safe until then, right?
Listen, go to tell you, right? You like a hamster, buddy. You see a play and you can't catch you. You understand what I tell you? Now here you talk, but when I get contact with you, me can't get contact. Me say you like a hassa. Me see you play match, okay, I set a cast and now pick you up.
I hear you, brother. I hear you. Thank you very much.
Thanks for your cooperation. Yeah, buddy.
Thank you very much, dear. And I want to say, unfortunately, we are down to program time at the moment. And so it is the second day of September. It's the Amerindian month. And what is it that you would have had to know? It is Parliament has started, and so they are moving right now to have a budget in place for the rest of the year, which is 4 months. And the Parliament is supposed to convene very shortly. I think maybe as early as tomorrow to start looking at that. In the meantime, I am not going to stop here. We are going to continue our talks on a daily basis. I want to say thank you very much to everybody who has reached out. Today has been a pretty difficult day. I'm going to try to bring you the situation as I have it to you. I'm trying to do whatever it is. Like the area around the nose, it's a pain. And I'm not sure whether I have another condition or something, or maybe I have a flu that comes on. Whatever it is, I can share with you guys to say what it is that I'm feeling and how it is. But it's been a pretty difficult day to feel a lot of sorts. But your encouragement, your words of comfort has been it's really appreciated. And so I want to say thank you very much for joining us here on Kaieteur Radio for the Wake Up Guyana show. And I think we've been waking ourselves up with some of the disclosures been coming out, all the way from Eskimo, all the way from Barbies, right across Demerara. I want to say good day. Thank you very much for joining us. It's always a pleasure being with you. And so we are going to continue to keep you awake and to keep you alive and give you hope and give you a voice. And that's what this Wake Up Guyana show is. And thank you very much there to the folks on Kaieteur Radio. Thank you for joining us. You folks from overseas, wherever it is that you would have joined us from, it's always a pleasure. And of course, the many words of comfort and encouragement and what I should use and use. I hear it, and I'm going to try to do what I can. So do have a pleasant rest of the day, Dr. Yog Mahadi and myself, room 592 this evening. We're going to bring you Dr. Duki. Dr. Duki has been the one who's been doing some fantastic surgery. There was a partial replacement of a skull on a patient recently, groundbreaking surgery. So we're going to bring him on tonight. With successful guy. He's very proud of Dr. Duki. So many other doctors too who would have been with us, who would have been paying attention, who would have been sacrificing COVID-19, and of course our policemen and all others who put their shoulders to the wheel to make it a little easier on our people of Guyana. And if we could encourage ourselves, give ourselves a little hope, we could do so much more things. So raise your shoulders, raise your head up. Let's put our eyes on the prize. And the prize is bringing Guyana out of the pandemic today, September 2nd. Have a pleasant rest of the day until we see you this evening. And tomorrow, we are going to be back. The Wake Up Guyana show at 1 p.m. sharp. We're not going to go anywhere. I'm not going to go anywhere. And I don't want you to go anywhere. Have a pleasant rest of the day. And thank you guys very much in the studio there, Raj and Joshua. Have a pleasant rest of the day, guys.